Okay, hi, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today we are now in the challenge number 4 of the page called Adventjs. In this case, we are facing medium level challenge, as you can see here. And so, well, let's read through the instructions to understand what we need to do. So let me zoom it a little bit so you can see it better. So it says it's time to put up the Christmas tree at home, but this year we want it to be special. We're going to create a function that receives the height of the tree, a positive integer between 1 and 100, and a special character to decorate it. The function should return a string that represents the Christmas tree constructed as follows. So this is basically the rules that we have to follow or to meet. In this case, the tree is made up of triangles of special characters, and the spaces on the sides of the tree are represented with underscores. All trees have a trunk of two lines represented by the hash character. The tree should always have the same length on each side. You must ensure the tree has the correct shape using line breaks for each line. Okay, so this is gonna be fun, I think, because it has some I don't know, some difficulty behind it, right? So this is basically the example that we got. In this case, for example, we have this Christmas tree function, which is basically the same that we have in the left side. Well, the first parameter is the height, and the second one is basically the ornament, which is the special character that we need to use to represent all the branches of the tree, right? So yeah, as you can see, in this case, we have phi as a height of the tree, and this is basically the expected output that we need to get. Obviously, if the height is lower, the lower it is, the smaller the drawing will be. I think I said it correctly because these conditions in English are especially tricky for me. But I hope if you are an English speaker, I am sure that you will understand what I meant. Okay, anyway, so let's as every challenge, I like to copy the example that they give us that they gave us yeah that they gave us, I think. Okay, so this is basically the expected result given height, the height equal to 5, right? So this is the height. Well, I don't know how to call this section of the drawing. Let's call it the triangle, I think. So let me name it a bit. And I think this will be the the triangle. Let's see. Right. Okay. And this will be, okay, triangle. And this section over here will be the trunk. Right. I think we can call it trunk. Okay. Awesome. We have to analyze several things here. First of all, we can see that the special character increases its value by 2 on each line. So as you can see, it starts by 1 and then increases by 2. So it gets 3, or it becomes 3, and then from 3 it becomes 5, and so on, right? So it does it during it does it by 4 times, given 5 as a height, right? So we can write down the pattern, let's say. So we can say that the ornament or the special character start by 1 and then increases by 2, then increases again by 2, then increases again by 2, and finally increases again by 2. So 1 is the initial character that we have over here. 2 is the how many character is it increased from the previous row, so and so on. So we have here basically that it increases by 2 4 times. So I can guess. So given this pattern, we need to find the width of the drawing, right? So let's count it together. So in this case, I can assume, let's say, that the width of the drawing will be equal to the length of the last row of the triangle, right? So let's count it together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So given 5 as a height, we have a we have a 9 as a width, right? And this is the pattern that we have. So we have here 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, 4 plus 2 is equal to 6, and 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. And 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So this is basically the result of the width of the whole drawing, right? So now, given the height as a variable, let's say, we need to find a formula that help us to calculate the width, because 9 won't be always the result of the width, because it depends on the height that we receive, right? So we have 5 over here. We have now that the pattern in between the number twos is 4. So we can say that it will increases uh, by 2 during 4 times, right? So 2 by 2 times 4 is equal to 8, and 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So we didn't affect our formula yet, right? So how can we get this 4 given the height of 5? So 4, I think 4 is, well, 4 obviously is 5 minus 1, right? So I think we can replace this operation over here, right? And we can get something like this. So now we know that we have this information. We have here the height, which is basically the one that we receive in the first parameter of this function, and 1 is basically the number to get the amount of time we need to multiply the number 2, right? And the remaining number 1 is basically the initial value or the initial count of the special character of this drawing, right? So let's see if this works correctly. So let's imagine that we have another, mm, how can I say, another value as a height. So let's do it with the number 3, like this example. So if our height is equal to 3, how what will be the width? So we can say that, okay, we know that it starts by 1, right? We can see it here. And it increases by 2 and then by 2. And this is basically equal to 5, right? 1 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. So let's count together. Let me see if I can zoom it a little bit. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it seems that this formula is working perfectly. So we can replace this with 2, 2 times the height minus 1. The height in this case will be 3, minus 1 will be 2, and 2 times 2 is equal to 4, plus 1 is equal to 5, which meets the quality, let's say, the formula. So let's write it down so we don't forget it. We have the height. Well, it's basically the 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 one that we got that we get from the first parameter. We can call it, I think, triangle height, because this height, triangle height, this height is basically the height of the triangle. This is basically, the triangle is basically this part of the drawing. So it's represent, I think it is explained here. Let's see if I can find it. Well, I'm not sure. Well, it seems it doesn't say that. Well, a height is basically the height of the triangle. I'm sorry for being too redundant, but it's almost, sometimes it's difficult to me to close an idea, but you understand what I mean. Okay, so the triangle height will be basically the height that we get from the parameters. How can I say, the trunk height is a fixed number. In this case is 2, and the, let's see, triangle width will be equal to 1 plus, sorry, 2 times the height minus 1. So this will be the width of the whole drawing, right? So now I think we can start building the triangle. Another thing that we need to know is, how can we calculate, or how can we know that we are um, printing each character just in the middle? So as you can see here, this character is just in the middle, and these 3 characters are just in the middle, and so on. So how can we calculate that? So we know that in this case, given phi as a height, we know that the width will be 9. So So I think we need to have the same amount of underscores on both sides, right? So we have, let's see, one, two, okay, two, three, four, and one, two, three, four. So we have the same amount of underscores on both sides, and the same thing happens in the next row. Let's see, one, two, three, one, two, three. Okay, so now that we know that, we need to find a way to print those characters just in the middle. So I was taking a look at on a helpful, how can I say, method of a string that we can use. In this case, this is the substring method of string. And it basically returns the part of the string from the start index up to and excluding the end index, right? Or to the end of the string if no end index is supplied. So in this case, we have the string Mozilla, and from the index one, in this case, the index one is 0 and 1. The index one is the letter O, and the index 3 will be 0, 1, 2, 3 will be the letter I. So the result, the expected output will be O and C. Os. Oh, I don't know if that is correctly pronounced, but you understand what I mean. So it doesn't include the last characters. It just includes all the characters until or up to the end, but excluding the end characters, the character at the end. You know what I mean? So with that information in mind, I think we can uh, play around with that method. So, okay, this gonna be interesting. So let's see. I think to build a triangle, we need to use a reduce, right? To know how many times we need to iterate this, let's say this array in order to build the triangle. So I'm gonna to create that array. How can I say? So for example, we could have, well, I don't know if I need to create that array. I think we can create the triangle directly by using a reduce. And for that, we need to create an array of 5, I think, and we have to fill it with an underscore, right? Okay, and for that, given that information or that array, we have to reduce it to convert it in an into a string. So let's see, let's initialize that as a string. Okay, so okay, we will have here the accumulated value, the accumulated, and the current row, I think. So how can we know? Okay, let me think a little bit. Okay, let's see. So let's call it row. This counts as row. The row will be equal to. Let's see. I don't know if we can know the index of it. Let's see. Let me consult the reduce the commutation. We can know the index. I don't remember that. Okay, the current index, right? Okay, the index is the third parameter. Let's use the index over here. So I think it's gonna be, so for example, amount, um, let's see, amount of of characters will be equal to 1 per 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 times the index, I think. Exactly. 2 times the index. So in the first iteration, we will have 1 plus 2, uh, 2 times the index. The index at the first iteration will be 0, and 2 times 0 is 0, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So this is basically the character that we have here. And then in the second iteration, we will have 1 plus 2 times 1, which is the same as 1 plus 2, which is basically the number 3, the 3 character that we have here, and so on. And I think this is the right formula. So let's figure it out. So given this method, I think we can get something like, how can I know that? So for example, we know how we know, so we know that given phi, well, in this case it should be the triangle height. So let's imagine that this is equal to phi. We know that we have to reach the 9 number as a length or as a width of the drawing, right? So yeah, at the first, um the first row will have 4 underscores on one side and 4 underscores on the other side. So it will be equal to the triangle width minus the amount of characters, right? Exactly. So let's see. We will have, I think, um underscores, I think it is underscores on both sides. It will be equal to the triangle width minus 1 minus the amount of characters. Exactly. And then, yeah, so we have to calculate the underscores. Well, I guess we can return the row, right? So cons row will be equal to the current row, right? Current row substring from the beginning, which means 0 to uh, to the underscore on both sides plus 1, right? I think so. I think this gonna be underscore on both sides will be okay. So let's imagine that the triangle width is 9 and the current amount of characters is 1. So this will be equal to 9 minus 1, and we will have 8 as a result. So I am building here the left side of the row. So the left side will have 4 underscores before getting the special character in the first row, right? So to get 4 underscores, we have to trim the string until up to the index 4 to get the total amount of underscore I need in the left side, right? I hope you are following me correctly. So it will be equal to the total amount of underscores on both sizes, on both sides, I means divided by 2, right? And plus 1. Because as we saw in the documentation, it won't include the index. So that's why I need to add 1, so it includes the actual index or the actual character that we need. You know what I mean? So this will be something uh, like this in the first iteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this gonna return a string, and then we need to concatenate the amount of characters, right? And then we have to append or to add the same amount of characters. So I think we are on the right track. So let's see. Um, okay, so we need to return that. Let's return just the row just to see what we get so far. Let's return the triangle over here and let's execute the test. Okay, triangle is not defined. Okay, I misspelled it. Let's submit again. Okay. 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 The amount of characters is a number. So I need um, to add here the ornament and repeat it the as many times the amount of characters is. So let's try again. Okay, it seems it is working, but not quite, not right. Okay, let me think. Well, it seems that I don't need to add the number 1 over here. So let's see what we get now. Okay, at least we are getting the last row, which is equal in this case to 5 characters, as you can see here, and as you can see here. So, okay, so now we have to use the accumulated. So if the accumulated is defined, we need to add a line break, and then well, I think it should be the accumulated and then a line break. Okay, I forgot how to do that is okay. That's inverse slash. And okay, then we have to print the row, the current row exactly, or if the accumulated is not defined, I think we can just use the row. So let's see what we got so far. Okay, well, it should be row, only row. Okay, it seems it is working, but not quite. Because let's see, if we add 1, it seems we get closer. But at the end, we missed, uh, we are adding 1 underscores on both sides at the end, and we don't need to do that, right? So I think we need to find out, to find out when we are in the last iteration. So let's count. I think we can use is last iteration. So it will be equal to the triangle height minus minus 1 is equal to index. So if this is true, we don't need to add a 1 to this calculation, let's say. So let's separate it in another const. So let's say underscores on each side. It will be equal to, and it will be equal to this thing over here. And then we can replace this one, and this is will be as it will be equal to 0 or 1. So if we are in the last iteration, we don't need to add any number. But if we don't, we need to add 1 to meet, to build the triangle correctly, right? So let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, but it is not working either. It is even worse because we are not printing the underscores. Why is that happen? Is that happening? Okay, this is interesting. So let's revert that to 1 to see we got the previous result. Okay. If we add 0, let's see what happened. Oh, okay. It seems we don't need to add any number to this formula. So this should be fine. So it seems, well, not quite, right? Oh, this is a tricky one. Let me think. I will come back. Okay, let's try to see what's going on in the console. So let's copy and paste this function over here. Right, and let's console these variables. We have this and this, and then we can console this other constant here. We have the amount of characters. We have the underscores on both sides, and then we have the underscore on each side, right? So let's see what we get. So let's execute that Christmas tree. We have, let's imagine 5, and the special character will be an asterisk. Let's see what we got. So these variables are correct. And in the first iteration, we get 1 as amount of character. In the second one, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And the underscores on both sides, it will be according to the instructions. Let's zoom out a little bit. In the first iteration, we will have in total 8 underscores in total, counting both sides. Yeah, I think that's all, right? So in this case, the underscore on each side should be, okay, I think I got it. Well, I don't know, because the underscore on each side is only one underscore, and that's wrong. So let's see the result here. Okay, it is not working. So why it is not working? Because in the first iteration we have underscores on both sides is equal to 8. And if we divide that by 2, we will have 4. Let's see. If I have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 substring from 0 to underscore on both sides, which is 8, divided by 2, what we get, the first 4 underscores, right? So awesome. Now on the second iteration, we will have 3 underscores, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's correct. On the second iteration, we will have 4 divided by 2 is equal to basically 2 underscores. On the next iteration, we will have 2 divided by 2, which is equal to 1, and is basically the one that we have here. And the next iteration will be 0 divided by 2 is equal to 0. So we got an empty string. Okay, that's correct. So this section of the reduce function is correct as far as I could see, as far as I can see. Okay, so now if let's imagine I have something like this. So for example, I don't know, let's use the first the first example, which is this is basically this, right? So now we have to use the asterisk and repeat it the amount of characters of the first iteration, that is, okay, I think now I understand what we, no, the amount of characters on the first iteration is equal to 1. Okay, we are great. And then plus this expression again, which is basically this one, and we got this. So for the second iteration, we will have 6, which is, and the well, which is the underscore on both sides, and then we need to repeat it by the amount of character that we had that we get in that iteration, and it is something like this. And then in the next iteration, it will be 5, and the underscores on both sides will be 4. Okay, it seems it is working as expected, but I don't know why it is not working in the results. I will figure it out shortly. Okay, yeah, it is working. So if we put 0 here and then we put here 9, okay, it is working. So this code seems to be working. So let's see the results again. So I think, okay, but I don't understand why at the beginning of the on the first row we have just few underscores, or only one underscore on both sides. That's weird. So let's execute the solution again. I don't understand, to be honest. Let's see what I have wrong. The triangle width, it will be equal to 9. I think that this is okay. The amount of character is okay. And the odd, okay, let's see. Zero from, okay, that's weird. That's weird. Okay, let's see what is a new array. What is this? Okay, triangle, let's see, it is equal to 5. Okay, now I understand. So in this case, we need to use this repeat 5 times, which is the same. Okay. Okay, I forgot to use the repeat method over here, which is we need to provide the triangle a height. So let's see again what we got. Okay, it seems it is working now also. Yeah, I think it is working now. We need to build the trunk of the tree. So let's do that. I think to make it easier, just to see if we got the result, we can hard code that that string. So let's imagine we have, I don't know, trunk one equal to um it will be, yeah, it will be let me think. Okay, let's define a new constant over here, which is a space. Let's call it spaces on each side, and it will be equal to underscore repeated the the by the triangle height. That's what I wanted to say. So we can replace this space, this constants over here, I think. Um, well, let's see. Let's call it as initial spaces on each side. Oh no, I think we can call it total spaces on each side. Um, how can I call it? Well, we can think the name later, but the total spaces on each side will be basically all the underscore, excluding the special character. So the special character will be will turn will turns out into another underscore. So this this is basically our total spaces on each side. So I know this is not it is not the best name, but this is what came to mind. So in this case, we will have now something similar to this, right? In this case, will be current row will be total spaces on each side plus the hash, and then plus this expression again. So we can have something like trunk2 is equal to this, right? And then what we need to return here is the the triangle, then underscore triangle, trunk1, and underscore trunk 2. So let's see if we got the solution. Okay. Underscore on both sides is not defined. Where we are using, okay. In this case, we need to use we need to use this. Well, in this case, it should be a fixed number. That is a width. Yeah, width. Oh, let me think. It should be triangle minus 1, I think. Let's see. It is not working. Why we got here? Okay. Okay. I was wrong. It's just triangle width. Exactly. Okay. It is not working either. I don't know what I am doing. Okay. Okay. The last, we don't need to add that last line break. Perfect. It is working, but the code is awful. So I need to fix it. Okay, so let me get rid of these comments because the function is becoming too long, too large. Let's create, for example, a const to represent this value. So I don't know how to call this value. I am going to invent any random name. So triangle array, let's call it as that triangle array, right? And then we can have const trunk array, right? Let's see, trunk array. It will be equal to the same value, but in this case, we need to use the trunk height over here, right? So in this case, to make this dynamic, I think we can use the trunk equal to trunk array, and we have to reduce it, and we have to use the accumulated and the current row and the index. Well, I don't know if we need the index. Let's figure it out later. So we need to initialize that as an empty string. And we need to do something similar to this, right? But without the index, because the amount of characters will be fixed, will be always equals to 1, right? So basically, we don't need this. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, let me think. Yeah, only 1. And then I think the rest should be exactly the same. So let's try if that is working, if that is working. Let's see what we get so far. Okay, it is not working now. I don't know why. So okay, in this case, we don't need to use the ornaments, but the hash, because that is the special character that we want to use to represent the trunk. Awesome. So in this case, well, we can replace this value over here, and let's see if we can how can I say, reused reuse this logic over here and this logic over here. So we need to provide the special characters. In this case, for the trunk will be the hash, and for the triangle will be, well, the given ornament, right? And for the amount of characters, for the triangle will be dynamic, and for the trunk will be fixed. So let's try to how can I say, to have a function that we can pass to the reduce function in order to reuse the logic. So for example, I don't know how to call it. This is really hard for me, especially in English. Well, in Spanish it's basically the same thing, but okay. Mm, what can we do? I don't know. Build, okay. Reduce to rows. I don't know. Reduce to rows, and it will receive the index. Yeah, what can I say? Fixed, fixed. Uh, Let me see. Let's call it as is width fixed. So if it is fixed, so we don't need to to add this expression over here, just one like this, right? So this will be a boolean. Well, we are not in TypeScript, so we don't need to do that. Okay, is with fixed, and we have to provide the ornament, right? And then we need to return another function, which is basically the function that will receive that will be used by the reduce method of those arrays. So the reduce will receive the accumulated and the current row, and it will return this value over here. So if the width is fixed, we need to zoom 0. Otherwise, we need to use this expression over here. I mean, this is not the most beautiful code you will see in your life, I know, but it's kind of difficult to me to think in English and then to make it beautiful because I have to do several things in my head, you know. So the object, the goal of these kind of videos is a way for me to practice English and to force myself to do something different, to practice the logic while programming, and to practice English while I am recording this kind of video. So be 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 patient with me, you know. We good with me. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so okay, now the ornament will be this one. So we can provide here whether the hash or whether the original ornament that we receive in the second parameter of the main function. So now I think we can use this function here, right? And pass it as true. It will be a fixed width, and the ornament will be the hash. In this case, this gonna be false, and this gonna be the ornament. So let's see if it is working now. Okay, index is not defined. Okay, we have to provide the index over here. Let's see now again. Okay, it is working. Awesome. I think we are done. As I said before, this is not the most beautiful code you will see in your life, but it's a nice try, I think. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you are watching this video. I don't know how many people will see this video. Well, another interesting thing is this is not the best approach to address this challenge because I got 1 star. So maybe I think my code is, how can I say, slower than other approaches. But as I said before, I am not trying to get the best score as I can. I just wanted to practice doing this kind of videos in English. So I hope you can understand. So thank you very much.